The Evangelical Christian Church in Timor, known by its Indonesian acronym GEMIT, is the second largest Protestant denomination in Indonesia with about 1.5 million members. GEMIT has 46 presbyteries with almost 1,500 ordained pastors serving 2,586 congregations. GEMIT originates from the evangelical mission that was born with the building of the first church in Kupang in 1614 by the Dutch during the early period of Dutch colonialism. On October 31st, 1947, 2 years after Indonesia's independence, GEMIT was established as an independent church by the Protestant Church of Indonesia. This date is recognized as GEMIT's birthday. With a presbyterial synodal polity, GEMIT is led by a board of 11 people, 5 of them full-time staff. This executive board is elected once every 4 years during the Synod Quadrennial Assembly. GEMIT's current moderator, Reverend Dr. Mary Colimon, is the first woman to serve in this capacity during GEMIT's 70-year history as an independent church. Despite a predominantly hot and dry climate, the areas where GEMIT ministers serve have a charming richness of nature and culture. Yet it is ironic that this region, rich in natural resources and where the majority of the people are Christians, at the same time suffers from overwhelming poverty and corruption. In 2017, East Nusa Tenggara was ranked the 3rd poorest province and the 4th most corrupt province in Indonesia. As a result of such poverty, many people in East Nusa Tenggara become migrant workers, leaving their villages to look for work in more developed cities and in other provinces. Others work as legal or illegal workers in other countries such as Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong. The human trafficking mafia takes advantage of this large migrant worker phenomenon to engage in crimes whose victims are mostly poorly educated villagers with no skills. Consequently, in 2017 and 2018, East Nusa Tenggara province had the greatest number of trafficking victims in Indonesia. Another impact due to this phenomenon is the high number of cases of violence against migrant workers originating from East Nusa Tenggara, as well as a high number of deaths each year. In 2017, the bodies of 64 migrant workers who had died were returned to East Nusa Tenggara. In 2018, the number of dead who were returned reached 104, averaging about 2 deaths a week. Health problems are also a concern. The number of people in East Nusa Tenggara known to have HIV/AIDS increases each year. By 2017, HIV/AIDS had spread to all 22 districts in East Nusa Tenggara, including the capital city of Kupang, with more than 5,000 individuals infected by this disease. Furthermore, East Nusa Tenggara province has achieved a number of dubious records that include the highest number of maternal and child deaths in 2007, the most of malnutrition in 2016, and the highest rate of stunting in Indonesia in 2018. The reality of education in East Nusa Tenggara is also worrisome. Poor school facilities, a lack of teachers, a high rate of dropouts, and the expense of higher education all make it increasingly difficult to improve the quality of human resources in East Nusa Tenggara. At the same time, indigenous lands are also vulnerable to exploitation, mostly by mining companies that dredge away East Nusa Tenggara's natural wealth. This adds to the long list of ecological issues in this region. It is in a context such as this that GEMIT is called to be present and to serve. So what are the concrete expressions of GEMIT's ministry? With more than 80% of its members living in villages, a number of Gemit pastors have formed a group called Kompastani, Community of Pastors Who Like to Farm. This community conducts activities for the economic empowerment of congregations by organizing and training farmers in their congregations in more modern and cooperative farming methods.
Berkat bimbingan dari Kompas Tani, kami semakin giat menanam karena hasilnya semakin maksimal, memuaskan kita dalam pendapatan kita.
Terima kasih buat Kompas Tani yang telah memberikan ilmu lewat para pendeta yang telah menyalurkan kepada kami petani untuk bercocok tanam yang lebih baik.
Kompas Tani bersyukur karena salah satu binaan dari Kompas Tani yaitu komunitas insan suka tani di Ebenezer yang bahkan hari ini melakukan panen perdana. Semoga ada banyak jemaat lagi yang akan melakukan proses tanam dan proses panen seperti ini sebagai bukti bahwa kita bekerja.
So that agricultural-based village development can have a broad impact and government support, in 2017, Gemit became the first Christian denomination in Indonesia to sign a Memorandum of Understanding with the central government through the Ministry of Village Development and Transmigration. The objective of this memorandum is to encourage village pastors to work together with government leaders to manage village funds that are now $1 billion rupiah a year for each village, about $71,000 based on the exchange rate in early 2019.
Program yang ada di desa dan desa ini, mulai dengan musyawarahnya, sudah otomatis kami akan memberikan masukan untuk keterlibatan secara langsung para hamba Tuhan ini, para pendeta, untuk turut.
It is hoped that the active involvement of pastors in the management of these funds will help to minimize corruption and improve the welfare of villages.
Karena itulah saya melihat bahwa sangat strategis ketika pemerintah daerah di NTT berjejaring dengan Gemit, di mana Gemit hadir di semua desa di seluruh NTT kecuali Sumba, saya tahu, dan itu tentu akan mempunyai dampak besar untuk membangun kesejahteraan ketika semua pendeta memahami perannya dengan baik dan menjalankan tugas dan tanggung jawabnya dengan baik. Sehingga tidak ada lagi kisah-kisah duka dari teman-teman kita yang menjadi korban human trafficking.
In response to the crime of human trafficking, Gemit's Synod Council formed the Board for Legal Advocacy and Peace and the Ministerial Unit on Response to Natural and Human Disasters. Since their formation, these two bodies have accompanied a number of victims, including those who go to court. They also network with other organizations to conduct anti-trafficking campaigns. At the same time, in 2018, Governor Victor Laiskodat issued a moratorium on sending migrant workers from East Nusa Tenggara to work outside the country. Gemit hopes that with this policy, efforts to work with the government to address this crime can be strengthened. In February 2018, the Gemit Synod also launched a shelter for victims of human trafficking and gender-based violence with support from local networks, the Fellowship of Indonesian Churches, and international church partners such as Kerk in Akti in the Netherlands, Mission 21 in Switzerland, and Global Ministries in the United States.
Kami dari Rumah Harapan mendapatkan mandat dari Gereja Masehi Injil Hidup Timur untuk secara khusus melakukan pendampingan terhadap perempuan yang menjadi korban kekerasan sampai dengan Desember tahun 2018. Rumah Harapan Gemit telah mendampingi 35 kasus dan kasus yang paling terbanyak kami dampingi yang pertama adalah kasus kekerasan terhadap anak, yaitu kekerasan seksual.
In the field of education, GMIT is working to improve management of its schools that range from kindergartens to a university. A majority of these schools were established, then left by the Dutch once Indonesia became independent. However, due to limited resources and poor management over several decades, some of the schools have been forced to close or have been expropriated by the government. GMIT seeks to improve the quality of its remaining 586 schools by designating 2% of congregational monthly offerings specifically for education. It is estimated that this will bring in about 3.8 billion rupiah or US $270,000 a year.
Badan Pendidikan Sinode GMIT dalam rangka menata pelayanan di bidang pendidikan telah melakukan langkah-langkah konkret antara lain pengembangan sekolah model dalam kerjasama dengan Majelis Pendidikan Kristen Indonesia di Jakarta. Sejumlah sekolah model telah dikembangkan. Yang kedua, dilakukan revitalisasi terhadap organ-organ yayasan agar organ-organ yayasan dapat melaksanakan fungsi secara maksimal. Dan yang ketiga, distribusi bantuan pendidikan kepada sekolah-sekolah GMIT.
GMIT is also giving serious attention to the environment. Because drought affects almost all areas of East Nusa Tenggara, GMIT has initiated a campaign, Movement to Plant Water, beginning in GMIT's many churchyards. This movement has received appreciation from the government. In fact, in several districts and even at the provincial level, this movement has become a program of the government.
Ini sudah dengan pupuk.
Iya. Pohon apa? Ini pohon sawo.
Sawo ya?
Iya, Bang.
Sawo.
Di undangan lain. Iya. Sawo cik.
Melalui karya-karya ini, GMIT berusaha untuk menunjukkan bahwa kami bukan hanya gereja yang besar dalam hal jumlah, tapi gereja yang mampu memberi dampak kepada masyarakat dan kepada alam semesta. Tuhan memanggil gerejanya untuk menjadi tanda damai sejahtera, memperjuangkan perdamaian, keadilan, dan keutuhan ciptaan. Kami mengajak mitra-mitra ekumenis GMIT, mari bersama-sama kita bekerja untuk mewartakan tanda-tanda kerajaan Allah di seluruh dunia. Tuhan memberkati.